I'm excited to have Field Drive. Abhishek, thank you for being with us. Thank you for all the support that you're giving us today. It's been great, to have more demos here. Again, Field Drive, for those that don't know, is facial technology, facial recognition company here. This is the elevator pitch. With Field Drive AI powered attendee validation, we eliminate bottlenecks at entry, verifying identities instantly and reducing queues in seconds. Our real-time insight engine helps organizers understand attendee behavior, engagement, and flow as it happens, not after the event. Abhishek, 10 minutes. You ready for this?
Absolutely.
Take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Julius, for the kind introduction. And everybody, welcome to the Field Drive AI demo. I am so excited to be here. My name is Abhishek. I'm the CEO of Field Drive. Today, we're going to showcase how Field Drive is leveraging AI in the on-site space to really redefine how on-site events take place. But before that, we talk a little bit about ourselves, who we are, what do we do. We are everything on-site, which means we power everything from check-in solutions to sessions access to access control to lead retrieval to badging solutions, and all of that feeds into our insights layer. From our history perspective, we are trusted by Fortune 500 companies. We have supported close to 3,000 plus events across 50 plus countries with a proven track record of delivering large and complex events over the last 10 years, which means we definitely know something about how on-site tech really works. And I think one of the things that keeps coming up again and again in a lot of our conversation with our prospects, with people in the industry, as well as some of our customers, that the on-site experience is definitely fragmented. By that I mean different flows which are not joined together. I'll give you a few examples. The first thing is the validation process when an attendee accesses an event is super manual through a security desk or a name lookup or a QR code, which offers friction with limited security. As a result, the attendee experience is pretty poor as well, because there is friction right from the time the attendee arrives till how he navigates during the event as well. And for our organizers, even more important, the registration data always remains in a silo and separate from the on-site data, and unifying them is no easy feat. And what it leads to is very limited event insights. If as an organizer, I would really want to understand what exactly has been my ROI on the event, how can I plan and predict my on-site better, all of that is next to impossible unless you're willing to spend hours and hours together on analyzing this data. At Field Drive, we would like to have none of that. We have what we call one connected flow. It's a single integrated flow that starts from registration to insight. It carries a virtuous cycle of better events and even smarter decisions. And what does it even mean, the one connected flow? It means from registration data to how you validate, how you access the event, which zones you go to, how do you essentially, we do attendance tracking, and all of this information feeds into our insights layer, which provides actionable planning points for the organizers that we serve. With that, I quickly move to what we would like to showcase today, given the limited time we have. From the one attendee flow, we want to showcase two specific features that we have launched. One is AI-powered identity verification, and the second one is AI-powered insights. With that, I would like to stop sharing and take your focus to something which is really cool, which is our self-serve check-in kiosk. This is our latest generation of self-serve check-in kiosk. One of the key themes that keep coming up again and again in our conversations with our enterprise customers, customers who are doing global sporting events, that the QR code based validation isn't cutting it anymore. They have always told us that they wanted something which was more secure as well as self-serve, and that was an important point. We have absolutely heard them, and as a result, we have launched event tech industry's first product, which uses or leverages AI to combine facial recognition and ID scanning technology to give you the most secure check-in experience. However, all of this is fully self-serve. Now, let me show you how does it work in a real example. Now, if I'm an attendee, and the first thing that I do when I walk into an event is I get myself validated. In this case, I'm using my passport. So the first thing that I do is I go to the kiosk, I scan my passport, and the scanner essentially or the system is validating if it's a legit document or not. It can be a passport, it can be an ID document, or it can be anything for that matter. And none of this data is stored, we are just validating. The second thing it does is it validates my picture to see the guy who is standing in front of the kiosk, is it the same guy whose picture essentially is in the document. And if that validation is successful as well, voila, what it essentially does is it helps you print a badge at the same point of time. So this is the most secure way of checking in, which is fully self-serve. With that, I would want to conclude the first part of the presentation and move your attention back to the second flow which you want to showcase today. Perfect. I think what you see over here is our insights product, something I'm very, very excited to showcase to all of you. Now, if you remember, we spoke about this slide earlier on, where we spoke about how we have one connected flow, which means right from the time we integrate with you, we have your attendee data from your registration sources. We exactly know when did you check in, how many days did you come, we exactly know which sessions you attended, we know exactly which exhibitors you spoke to as well. And all of that essentially feeds into our insights platform. And when you aggregate all of these different data sets and you essentially enable it with AI, and most importantly, enable it with the context that we have, what you create is something extremely powerful. We principally work for the benefit of our event organizers and planners, and this is a tool which can be extremely helpful for them. I'm going to show you a couple of quick examples, right? Assume it's day one of the event, it's 10 a.m., and I really would like to know between my key people like my speakers, my VIPs, my board members, how many have checked in and how many have not. And most importantly, who has specifically who has not checked in, and what is the probability of them coming. It's a complex query, but because we have access to all of those real-time data sets, what you see is an instant report that gets generated, which tells you by category what is your attendance rate looks like. But most importantly, please focus your attention on this section. It tells you specifically which guy has not come, so that you can absolutely nudge the right people if you wish to. And based on past behavior, you can actually also understand what is the likelihood of them coming. And most importantly, you can quickly draft an email, and this essentially is a smaller function, but you can draft an email that you can send to whoever it needs to be sent to. This was a simple use case. Now take things a little bit or a notch higher. Now imagine a situation where you have finished your event, you have relaxed because you obviously deserved a break, and then you come back and you start planning your next edition. Now, given the fact that you have access to all your prior events, you can essentially use this for much effective planning. My next question that I want to showcase is what happens if I'm an event planner and I want to understand the no-show pattern for my events that have happened in the last 3 years and my immediate event that I just concluded. And most importantly, if I want to know that by different vectors, by company type, by industry type, by the kind of titles who can come, and how I can use all of these different data points to actually leverage and understand how can I plan better. Obviously a pretty important question, but let's see what the response really looks like. It obviously goes back into your historical patterns and tells you realistically how many attendance or what kind of attendee attendance that you can actually expect. Most importantly, you can get this data by different vectors, which is enterprise software, which is different categories like the kind of companies. The same information you can get by companies, by title. And I think this is where it becomes extremely powerful. And not just there, you can use this for not just forecasting, but actual planning. For example, what kind of session room capacity that you should think based on what happened last year? how should you think about how many people to put, or how many people will attend what kind of session, and how the room sizing needs to be. The same data points can actually be used in understanding staffing, in terms of how much staff to put in what part of the event, how many in registration and check-in, how many in sessions, and whatnot. And similarly, it can also give you registration strategy and other important things. It is super intuitive. The quality and the kind of questions that you can ask is absolutely up to you. And I think this is where it becomes extremely powerful. With that, I would like to conclude my session today. And I hope all of you have got a good understanding of what we are building. And with that, I like to say thank you for joining me in this session. And please feel free to go to www.fielddrive.com to see what we are actually building. Thank you
Abhishek,
so
you
much,
broke
everybody.
the chat with this demo. You broke the chat.